Hello, in this video, I will walk you through an example resume. And I actually wrote this resume for someone, and I thought it turned out really great. So I will walk you through kind of my thought process and give you some tips that I use to write effective resumes. So at the top, I've obviously deleted this person's personal information for the purposes of this example to be able to share it with you. But at the top, you would just include your name, and then this title is sometimes the title that is included on the job that they're applying for, or it can be your title from your latest position. On the right, I have included these little icons just to make it look prettier. This one's for the email address and the phone number, and then the address. I personally do not include my entire home address or someone else's entire home address on a resume just because you're going to be submitting it over the internet, or you may email it to someone, and before you get a job offer, they don't really need to know exactly where you live. So that's my personal tip. It's up to you if you feel comfortable, but it's also okay to just include your city and the state and your zip code, which is what I typically include. So this resume is arranged in two columns. So this is one column, and then this is the other column. To make it look like this, I used it's about 25% and 75% or so. Don't quote me on those exact numbers, but basically I made a thinner column on the left side, and then I put the profile and the experience on the right side. So let's look at the left side. So this person was applying for a supervisor or management position. So I took the job advertisement that they gave me and pulled out these keywords that are related to the management skills that they were looking for in the job ad, and I just put it under a heading called management skills. I also, um, so for technical training, I put that they had completed this utility equipment repair course. This person had completed high school and had some training, not at the collegiate level, but like some, what is the word I'm looking for? They had some just post high school training. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but not college. So I just included the names of the courses that they had taken, and I included a short description. The description that's written here is related to what was on the job advertisement. So basically, I included this information to tie this person's technical training, their education basically, to the job ad. Since they didn't have a degree to list, this was my way to work around that and show that they did have training that was beyond just going to high school. So I listed those three. So they had the power generation course, the electronic technology course, and the utility equipment repair course. One thing that I'm noticing now that I've pulled this up and I'm sharing it with you is that the formatting is off. So even I make mistakes. This is why it's important to just look over your work over and over again. And hopefully I fix this before I send it to the person I wrote this for. But you see technical training here is centered, and then over here it is aligned on the left. So I would just want to, of course, align that to the left like that. So that was bothering me. So I just wanted to fix it. Um, yeah, Okay, so just this is just a tip just to make sure that your formatting is consistent. And again, even I make mistakes. Alrighty, so let's go over here on the right side. At the top, this is their summary, this part here. So I called it a profile. You can call it a summary. You can call it, well, really those two things. Those are the two things I would call it, summary or profile. More modern resumes are, they no longer include an objective. So my suggestion to you will be to use a profile or a summary. That way you can give the reader more information about your experience. And the information should be, of course, focused on what they need to know. And I think that the move from using objectives to profiles or summaries is a way that you can do that. So if you write just a profile, I mean, an objective where you're saying, hey, I want this job because blah, 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 you are focusing on what you need and what you want. And we know that you need the job and you need it to pay your bills. We know that. But as a writer, your job is to provide information for the reader. And so your reader will need to know how you are best qualified for the position. So just write for the reader. That's my tip with that. So the summary slash profile part up here at the top has several key phrases that I pulled from this person's job ad. So they were looking for a person with in-depth knowledge of truck operations, DOT regulations, and OSHA guidelines. This is almost verbatim from the job ad, this part here that's highlighted in blue. They were also looking for someone who had experience working with oil, gas, and energy companies. So this part that's highlighted right now is also pulled directly from the job ad. I included this part up here, dedicated and knowledgeable truck supervisor, blah, 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 as, a way to just tie into that part, the experience part. Um, Excellent interpersonal and communication skills, both written and verbal. This is also taken directly from the job ad. The job ad did not call for a person who was bilingual, but since being bilingual is definitely a great skill to have, you should put it on your resume and make sure to list your fluency level and the languages, obviously. So we're in the States, so most people expect that you will be able to speak English, so you want to make sure that you include your fluency level and the other language or languages, if you're like trilingual, which is super awesome and very impressive. Make sure to include all of that information on your resume somewhere. Lastly, I also wanted to include that this person was a veteran, and I wanted to make sure to call that out because he didn't have a degree, but being a veteran is very, very, it's a very attractive trait for a lot of employers. Veterans have really great perception of being really hard workers, being very intelligent. Obviously, we're very thankful for our veterans, just as a social, political kind of way. So you want to call that out as well, that you're a veteran. This person wanted me to include where they had served exactly. So I included that. That's optional. I would not have included that otherwise, but they wanted me to call that out, which is fine. They were proud of that, and that's totally fine. And then here at the bottom, experience in maintenance, QA/QC inspections, shop foreman duties, and medical support. This part that's highlighted in blue was directly from the job ad. I included the medical support part because it tied in with this person's Army experience. So coming down to the experience section, I'm only showing you the first page of this because um, the this is the meat of it basically. So for the experience section, I have included their job title at the top. That's bolded. Was the name of the employer that they were currently working for, the dates, and then the city and the state. So just the basic stuff that most job applications will ask for. Put it there at the top. And then you want to try to put as much of the keywords or phrases on the first page because unfortunately sometimes the person who is responsible for reading these resumes, they won't even read the second page. I'm sorry to tell you that, but they might not, so I'm just trying to warn you about real life here. So make sure to put as much of the juicy meaty content on the first page because that may be all. You want to make it complete because the hiring manager or your future manager will definitely read all of the content that you submit. But as far as like the HR person or maybe an admin or something like that, they may only look at the first page so just be aware. If you're submitting a resume online through like LinkedIn or Indeed or something like that, and the resume has to go through an automatic tracking system, I think that those will read all of the pages in your document, but again, just to be on the safe side, try to put as much of the juicy content on the first page. Okay, so looking at the experience section, the one of the most common mistakes that students make when they write their resume is to not match they don't match the verb tense to what the job is. So, for example, this is something that this person is still working at. So, let's take a second and highlight a couple. All of the verbs on the document should be present tense because you are currently working at that position. If you have left that position, your verbs need to be past tense. That's hands down the most common comment that I make on resumes. So that's a very easy way to improve the 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 grammatical element of your document. So that's number one. Number two, again, you know what I'm going to say. We're going to use those keywords and those key phrases. So let's take a look. Supervises drivers in the day-to-day operations of truck yards across West Texas geographical area. So on the job ad, this was the content exactly from the job ad. I added across West Texas geographical area to fill out this bullet to let the employer know that this person had experience not only in this city but across West Texas. And that was important because this person was applying to be a trucking supervisor. So most trucking supervisors will need to have some familiarity with the area that they are going to work in. So that's my rationale behind that. The second one develops and maintains superior customer relations with new and existing accounts. For this one, I think the word develops and customer relations, those were the words that were from the job ad. And then to fill it out, I put and maintains superiors just to kind of boost it up a little bit. And I included with new and existing accounts so the reader will know that this person has the skills to go out and develop new business, make connections, network, and they have the ability to continue facilitating good relationships with existing accounts. So that's the rationale behind how I filled that out. Again, I can't tell you exactly how to write your resume because you'll be writing one that will be tailored to what you know how to do and the job that you're going to apply to. But I'm giving you this information just to kind of help you understand how to think about writing the content. Let's do one more. Gained 10 new business contacts from major oil producing companies, contractors, and third party vendors for the trucking company. So, um, this is an example of a piece of quantitative information that you can add on your resume. On the job ad for this resume, I think that, let's see, if I remember correctly, I think the job ad was asking for someone who knew how to work with new business contacts from major oil producing companies. This is the content that was from the job ad. And I included this quantitative piece so the reader will know the amount of experience and success this person had with getting new business contacts for the trucking company that they were currently working for. Okay, so I hope that helps to show you how to put together the most important part of your resume. Okay, so looking down here at the bottom, um, this is the at the bottom of this person's resume. We have their education and skills, high school diploma, where they went, the U.S. Army basic training. That information is there. And again, I just reiterated that they were bilingual. It's okay to reiterate really important skills like communication skills, language skills, technical skills, so forth. And for this specific example, we also wanted to highlight that the person had a CDO that had the hazmat endorsement. So that was related to the specific job that they were doing. You can also put references available upon request at the end of your resume. You do not have to list your resumes there. For most positions, if the job ad specifically says for you to submit your references with your resume, then by all means include that. But if not, it's okay to just put references available upon request. Okay, so coming back up here at the top, that wraps up the walkthrough for the resume. My top tips are going to be, again, make sure to use the job ad to include your keywords and key phrases, and also make sure to include at least some quantitative information that's related to what you know how to do. There's only one example in this on this resume, but by all means, try to figure out as many quantitative things that you can include on your resume. If you need help with that or help, brainstorming information to include on your resume, you can email me or you can set up a working session with me and let me know how I can help. My email address, as you already know, is dylesn at uhd.edu. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.